Oh shit. Hey Matt, I can't hear you. I was hearing you just fine, and the moment we go live, I don't hear you anymore. And then I don't know if that's me or your new mic. We're gonna need confirmation on this one, guys. Live chat. Did anybody hear Matt? If not, I gotta kick the show off as he figures out the microphone. See, isn't it crazy how everything is working just fine? And then the moment I hit the live button, nope, nobody can hear you. All right, guys. Hey, welcome to an exciting new edition of the Daily High. Um, My name is Tom Vase. I'm on with Matt McGregor, and we're going to bring you the market analysis this morning. And I'm just going to go first. And Matt, as you figure it out, just say anything, and then I'll let you know if I can hear you. All right. And we are live, right? Yeah, we are live. All right. Let's go to the charts. Yeah, I was talking to Matt just fine before I hit the live button. Absolutely crazy. All right. We begin with the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, we are now fully below the downward parallel channel. That is not good at all. The only good thing in this weekly chart is the fact that we have shadows or wicks on the bottom sides of the candle. And the current candle so far started off green. Now, I personally don't think it's going to last, but we will see. Once we look at the lower level time frames, we will have a better understanding of the charts. As of right now, Bitcoin is smack in the middle of its MRI count to the downside. We have broken the prior swing lows, and we have no support on the weekly scale until we hit the next moving average, which this week is sitting at $48,000 and next week at 48.5, and the week after that a little bit above 49,000.
Mic test, mic
Hey, you're
test, test.
back, you're back, you're back. I
Oh,
hear you
really?
now. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Didn't do it. Oh shoot. I don't know, man.
Right,
Sorry.
you're back. I know. Zoom is insane. Here's the allocation chart. The allocation chart is in a 100% cash position, and all the moving averages are now declining. They are all one below another. This is actually an environment where you should be shorting. I'm not shorting, but the chart is saying you should be shorting, or the chart is saying I should be shorting. Let me not tell you guys how to manage your money. I have a hard enough time managing my own money. And my own money is in 100% cash. And I don't think I'm going to go short on this. Once again, you have a couple of nice long wicks here at the bottom. I would love to see this moving average cluster kind of come together. I don't believe it is likely that Bitcoin is just going to randomly shoot up to the upside. I think that is the most unlikely path for Bitcoin. The most likely path is massive consolidation or a big drop. I think that a massive rise is the lowest odds in the book right now. It doesn't mean it can't happen, but that is the most unlikely path for me. Here's the daily chart. The daily chart looks equally as disastrous as the rest. It looks like we are breaking the MRI count on the daily. You can see this as good news or bad news. It depends. If tomorrow's candle is also very bullish, we will get our green star candle for potentially a bullish trade. But that green star candle is going to run into immediate resistance at the declining 20-period moving average and $60,000. Not to mention the 200-day moving average, which is currently sitting at $58,700, but it is still rising. We are below it, however, and it can certainly be additional resistance. We have three moving averages here. We're below all of them. Three of them are dropping, the 20, the 50, and the 128. And then you have the 200 that is about to level off. The daily chart does not look very good. Look, it's nice that the price is rallying. It looks like we rallied this morning up to 58, but it's also likely that the rally is done. We had a couple of extensions completing on a 4-hour. I don't think that means much. You can guys see by my arrows probably drawn on the hourly charts that I expected a rejection from the 200 period moving average and the hourly chart. We got more of a consolidation, but we still managed to get to, the area at the bottom of my arrow that I drew on Friday. We also broke the MRI support line. We rallied once again. This time we touched the long-term moving average. We are consolidating here. I say it's almost 50-50 whether we can break above. I like the consolidation of these averages on the 1-hour chart. You still have massive resistance with the MRI resistance line and the moving average itself. I think it is 50-50 or maybe 49-50 with the 49-51, with the 51% being that we are about to go down. And that's it for me on Bitcoin. We are now at the lowest part of the price of Bitcoin in this cycle. Bitcoin has always started rising by now, or at the worst, Bitcoin started rising by August 1st. We got 2 weeks to go. If you ask me, are we going to be higher or lower than right now by August 1st? I'm going to lean to under 60,000. We may be higher than 57, but I think we'll be under 60,000 going into August 1st. That's just my guess. I am slightly more bearish than bullish at the moment still. That's it for me on Bitcoin. We'll take a look at the S&P 500 and other markets now that they're open after Matt does his thing. Matt, I'm going to hand off screen share to you, and floor is yours.
Thanks, mate. Can you hear me? Mic check.
Yeah, I got you.
Awesome. Well, I was going to say, if I'm looking better and sounding better, it's because my boy Vage from Blowfin Exchange sent me a new camera mic and a new microphone here. I'm very, very satisfied with that. It sounds great, it looks great, and I was just really blown away that he did it. So thanks, Vage. If you're watching, mate, thank you so much. Tones knows Vage very well as well. All right, so before I go any further, please like and subscribe. Please share it with your friends, and please use the Discord group and the affiliate links in the description below. Okay, let's crack on. Weekly time frame. Yeah, we had like a very bad low closing week, and today is the first day in that week, and we have had a really good response, but it's only come back up and retouched on the downside of the 30 simple moving average. That is like a magical great spot to short, having broken the 30 simple moving average and come back to retest it. I think a lot of people would have been shorting at that point. I don't think all is lost. I'm not as pessimistic. I do think that this has some chance to recover, some serious chance to recover, especially in the next week or so. But I do agree with Tone completely that there's some major work that needs to be put in and a lot of resistance above. And we'll go through that. You can't even see it right now, but to cross the 30, even just to cross the 30, it would be something special for me at this point. I need to see something, and it's just not in the charts on the weekly time frame right now. To go down the line a little bit to the daily, it's very much the same thing, rinse and repeat, as I said on the weekly time frame. That great pump that we've had this morning. I mean, we finished the day yesterday very poorly, and we've had a good pump, but it's only come back and just exactly touched on the 7. My moving averages on Alpha Numerics look unbelievable right now. It has just come in and touched the 7, and it's been rejected once again. So we're still in a downward trend as far as I'm concerned, because we're on the daily, the weekly, we're below very, very much key moving averages. And as Tone said, aside from the 200 here, the 7, the 30, and the 50 are all facing down and in the right order. Not a positive move, not the end of the world, not a positive move. Going down the time frames, what do we got on the 12-hour here? Is anything? This could be potentially the start of something for a trade, in a short-term trade. See how we always come down, respect the 30. We've done that. We put in the low. We've popped up a little bit. We put in a higher low. Is there a trade on as we sit above the 7 simple moving average on the 12? Possibly, but because it's quite defined where your stop losses could be to the long side, but it's still not, it's still, I don't think, really, really worth the trade. I definitely could see us popping back up to retouch on the 30 simple moving average. That's just like we did right here, which would be at, just shy of 69,000. I can absolutely see that happening. But then, just like Tone showed, the moving average clusters that we have on every single time frame are a real cause for concern, and they're not worth getting too excited about until we at least start clearing some of these moving averages. Then, we can get really excited. No worries about that. But, I do like that my modified Lucid SAR is week by week moving down. So I do really hope that time as well as price, we can get these Lucid SARs low enough that by the time we do go full blown bullish, it's coming from a lower position than 70,000. I would like to get massively, massively excited and bullish, 66 or something like that. All right, 4 hour time frame as we rock down the time frames. Wow, wouldn't you know it? It's the same old jazz. We're still stuck below the 30. We're still, they've still got that W pattern forming, the same as on the 12 hour with the lower low put in. So perhaps if we can start to break above 58, there's a chance we'll get to 59. And breaking that, there's a really good setup here. In fact, the 4 hour looks a bit more promising to me than any other time frame that we've looked at so far. But as I mentioned on the higher time frames, I mean, I still feel like they override the 4 hour and they still got those massive resistance above it. But the 4 hour to me doesn't look that bad. I could definitely see us come back down, retest the 7, and then try and push up to another leg higher. I think that you'll get a really good pop if we start to get above. I mean, look at the pop that we had came. Look at sometimes trading is just anyone who thinks that technical analysis are ridiculous, whether it's bots or it's just in like a fait accompli that everybody's following the same thing. But look exactly where that great little pop that we had today, and it happened very quickly. I was watching it. Like, look where it came to touch. Like, it just came, it wouldn't break above the neckline of here to complete a full W pattern before it got its rejection. That's, are you telling me technical analysis had no part in this? That all these moving averages just keep getting perfectly touched on? It's just pure happenstance. I think that at least bots are respecting them, if not the general public. And we really need to see a break above that 58,200 for this to be something on the 4 hour time frame, but it's not nothing either. So, all right, Tone, that's all I'll say about Bitcoin right now. As I come back to you, I still think that the smart money is looking for 3-day and weekly green diamonds because it's still negative in the price. But for a 4 hour time frame, they look like it was a trade on. But anything higher than that, it's still liminal space. The great Fibbo Swanee would say, we're in between two trades, and you're better off putting your hands in your pockets at this point, in my opinion. Tone, how's the traditional markets looking?
All right, let me go and take a look at those. I am Chris. Oh, shout out to Ben Gagnon. My good friend Ben Gagnon is apparently the new CEO of Bitfarms. I knew that was coming eventually. Didn't realize it was coming that soon. Yeah, Ben was looking forward to being the CEO of the company someday, and it's great that he finally is. So
Is he
that
going
is
to
absolutely
orchestrate
awesome.
a buyout? Will he orchestrate a buyout?
I don't know. We'll see. The stock is doing okay. We
Good.
had our opportunities to buy the stock back at 30 cents, which is great. I think they're one of the better miners. Like I said, they are my favorite company in the space, mostly because of Ben Gagnon, and I know him, and I trust him. So
Hey,
I
Tone,
trust the
where,
numbers
where
that.
were you? Where were you last week at the mining farm? Where was that? In
Oh,
Minnesota.
that was up in North Minnesota.
Yeah, it looked awesome.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
it's pretty good. They got 25 megawatts of power, and they have capacity to double. They're building
Was
out
that
fairly
Bitfarms?
quickly.
Was that Bitfarms?
No, that wasn't Bitfarms, no.
No. It looks
No,
great.
no, that wasn't them. That was like a private miner. It was literally like started off as a hobby and now they're a major operation.
No, fantastic.
Uh,
Good on.
Yeah, just a private company. Yeah, but every miner is struggling right now. They're barely profitable at the moment, unless you have
Yeah,
unreasonably cheap power. All right, we're gonna go backwards here. So it looks like the S&P continues to go higher. This is super interesting. The daily chart may make it to one more MRI top. That would be very interesting. As you guys know, this is the MRI top week on the S&P and on the NASDAQ. It's also the NASDAQ is potentially even more interesting, NDX. Nope, that did not spell that right. NDX. Okay, so
dyslexic.
there's your blow off candle. I think this week will be the top in the S&P. And after that we go down. So this is not the week for me to go long. I would never go long on current week. I would either exit my longs or enter shorts. And if I have no longs to exit, I would consider timing a short on the S&P and the NASDAQ, and this also includes stocks in the S&P or stocks in the NASDAQ. We can go and take a look at Tesla. As you guys know, I think Tesla is topping. If it doesn't top this week, along with the market, it doesn't have much further to go until it reaches its MRI top. So it's also an extension B today on this week on the weekly. On the daily, we have the MRI top. So once again, I believe Tesla is topping here, and I think it's going to pull back. That was an unprecedented run. I'm going to glance at NVIDIA as well. NVIDIA has already closed the gap. It's now closed the gap for the second time. NVIDIA has its green star candle. So NVIDIA is potentially the lowest in, and that's why I didn't short NVIDIA after I missed the perfect trade at 140. I thought this could happen. The next time there is a short on NVIDIA is if the market turns and starts to go down hard. I could potentially take one more stab at shorting NVIDIA at current price if it rallies once again to say 134-ish and then pulls back and starts breaking 130 to the downside. That's another potential short on NVIDIA. There is a long on NVIDIA right now if you think the market will not turn this week, but I would stay away from that trade altogether. The oil is consolidating, not much to say. Gold has been rallying, and right now it's cooling off, but gold is setting up for a nice rise to $3,000, and that is my target. And the weekly S&P is no different than the NASDAQ, which I just described. All the metrics look good. Some of them look a smidge toppy. I don't have the CMF open here. That would be interesting to look at. Maybe I'll look at it from the NASDAQ's perspective, and then we're going to leave it there. NDX, let me see if I have the CMF open. I do. And the CMF looks super strong on the daily, though you can see massive divergence here.
Divergence.
I
Yeah.
take that back. This
Mm.
is huge divergence in CMF. You can see the downward here and a huge rise. This gives me more pause that the NASDAQ on the daily is ready to top any day. And we're about to glance at the weekly as well. I should make this a green line. Let's take a look at the weekly with the CMF, and you can see how the CMF has been declining since February. That
Mm.
is a nasty sign, guys. You can see right here how the CMF tops back in July, and then the market pulls back, and so does the CMF, and it goes massively red. The CMF has been declining since February as the market rages higher. That is not sustainable. I don't believe that's sustainable. I think the market is due for a massive correction. I would be very, very careful with the NASDAQ here. The CMF is nothing to sneeze at. We can look at it in the past as well. In the past, it has rallied the ship, right? So you can see right here, the CMF made a high back in February of 2020, and then it made a lower high in August of 2020, but then it did pull back. It didn't pull back a lot, but it pulled back enough, and then the CMF turned around. And we haven't pulled back at all. I would be careful with the NASDAQ right here. This is not to be ignored. Let's just say. I'm not saying you have to go 100x short, but this is not something you want to be ignoring. That is massive divergence, and you don't see that in any other oscillator. You don't see it in the MACD. You don't see it in the RSI. But that's because the MACD and the RSI do not use volume. They are only price-based. CMF is price and volume, which makes it a more useful indicator because it uses more inputs. I will leave it here. Matt, back to you.
Yeah, look, that CMF on the NASDAQ weekly there, that looks very, very interesting. Although when you did go back and look at historical data, those divergences didn't play out as well as I thought they would. But as you say, it's definitely worth noticing. Excellent show. I'm loving this new camera and this new mic setup. I hope that it sounds as good as it feels, you know. Thanks, guys. I think it's going to be a really terrific week. I don't know what's going to happen with Bitcoin, but I think that you're stuck with two options, and I think that they're both good options. Either it drops real hard and you get an excellent once in a cycle chance to buy Bitcoin off like a 3-day or a weekly green diamond, or the low is in and we recover and we're all smiling. So I don't think it's as bad as you might think it is. I think this is kind of a good spot. At least we've had a lot of the pain already. All right. Can't wait to bring you the rest of the week show. My mum's coming in to visit from Australia tomorrow, so that'll be nice. I might bring her on the show. Tone, have a great night. Have a great
All
day.
right. All right. Oh, one last thing for 30 seconds. Since someone asked, or about the 10 a.m. reversal this morning on a Monday. Well, here it is. Here's your S&P 950 to 10 a.m. candle. This is the candle that started at exactly 10 a.m. This is the candle leading into the 10 a.m. candle. This is good enough for me. That's a reversal candle. Happens to be on an MRI top, even though I don't really pay attention to those on lower time frames. And we have already pulled back. I would probably be in a short trade right now and a little bit concerned for it. We only fell 6 points. And right now, my stop loss would be break even. So let's say I entered at the top of this candle, which is a reasonable entry. Right now, my stop loss would be right below my entry to make it a break-even trade, right there on the short trade. That's where it would be. And right now, if it hits it, then I didn't lose or make any money. And if right now we don't hit it and we go down, then this is a very profitable trade. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there.
Bitcoin is it's dropping pretty hard right now. It's just dropped 700
And
points.
yep, Bitcoin is crashing right now as well. Not surprising, as we described it this morning, 10 minutes ago. All right, thank you all so much for watching, guys. See you all in the next one.